We're rolling, friend.
Cool.
So, welcome to another episode of Stories from a Bar. I'm your host, Chris Osborne, and for this episode, I am hanging out at Backstage Pub here at 501 Smith Street in Schenectady with owner Terry Aldrich. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. Having a little liquid lunch right now, so
yeah, I hear that.
Feeling good about that.
It's not a bad thing.
I appreciate you taking the time to hang out.
Yeah, of course.
By the way, I like the flannel.
Thanks. We got them for sale downstairs.
The Backstage Pub
Yep.
plug. There's the merch plug right there off the bat.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun here. We got a couple shots lined up. I'm drinking the McKellar Mosaic IPA. I forgot which one it was. Mechanic, I think it said on it.
Subway Mosaic.
Subway Mosaic.
Subway Mosaic right now, yep. And we're about to do a shot of Fernet Branca that Chris has never had before.
I have not. I like this beer. I haven't had a lot of McKellars, so.
Yeah, McKellar is always, they're a staple on the tap list. They just forever rotate and whatnot, but they're awesome. Just killer beer.
Yeah, I think I've only had like 2 or 3 now.
Yeah.
But we were, of course, just talking about the weather because we're in for some snow. Not looking forward to that. Luckily, it's just rain right now.
Yeah.
And car troubles and Jeeps, how reliable they are, it sounds like.
Yeah, nobody has anything bad to say about Jeeps either.
My girlfriend hates my car so much.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She hates it.
Everybody always has bad things to say about Fords and Chevys and all the above, and nothing bad to say about Jeeps.
I'm looking at this shot. I'm like, well, maybe we should just do this now.
Yeah, might as well get it done.
Yeah.
Fernet Branca. This is Nectar of the Gods. I just set up a tattoo appointment to get the coin actually on my arm. So
nice.
It's motor oil with a menthol finish. 23 Italian herbs. It's medicinal. The only thing allowed to be sold during Prohibition because it was considered medicine.
Wow, I like that.
Real weird. Yeah, you either love it or hate it. There's no in between.
I definitely don't hate it. But
yeah.
I don't drink a lot of liquor.
Right.
More of a beer person in general. Maybe a mixed drink every once in a while.
Yeah, that's my first one in 4 or 5 days.
I have no idea the last time I took a shot of anything, but that doesn't burn. It's just nice and smooth.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, considered medicine.
I forgot what I was going to say before we did that, but I guess it doesn't matter now. It hasn't even kicked in, and I'm losing my train of thought already. But I'm excited to be hanging out at Backstage. Finally, it's my first episode of 2022, actually. Like I mentioned, once January came around, I just got lazy.
Yeah.
It got cold. I didn't want to do anything on the weekends. I started doing some virtual happy hours because those are fun. Yeah. With some friends online and just streaming that to the Facebook page. And I don't have to edit those, so that's nice.
I did a couple of those. Wolf Hollow did those right at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
And they had a couple... Yeah, virtual happy hours, which were pretty fun, but
it's fun because it helps me put content out there.
Yeah,
and I don't have to do much.
Right.
I'm not saying it's good content; it's just content.
Yeah, it's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
That's all right.
But I haven't been out and about because the last few episodes I've done at home since October was my last live one when I sat down for my Ghost Stories one with Mike from over at the Schenectady Historical Society.
Oh, cool.
That was fun. Hearing about the ghost stories all around Schenectady and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very cool place.
Nice.
We did that over at Mad Jack.
Cool. I love Mad Jack.
Yeah. It's a great place.
Brian's one of my good friends.
But, like I said, first episode in 2022. First one live since October. I can't believe, man, I went that long without going out and recording an episode out live. I feel like I wasted something, but not really.
Take a break and come back, more furious than before and... Just get it going.
But we are here at Backstage Pub. I like this place a lot. I don't get here as much as I wish I did. But then again, I just moved to this side of town this past summer. So I was living on the other side of town. So I wasn't out in Schenectady. I think was the only thing not close to me at the time. Because I lived in kind of Menands, Waterville, so I was just up the hill from Albany.
Okay.
Of course, now that I'm on the Schenectady side, I'm out here this way more. And what I like about Backstage Pub is it's kind of like a hidden gem. Like, it's surrounded by taller buildings, kind of like all around.
Yeah.
You don't really know it's
around,
here unless you're kind of looking for it.
State Street. Sometimes the outside, sometimes the big neon works at full bore, and sometimes it just says Stage Pub or Tage. So it's an old sign.
And I like the look of the building itself, too.
Yeah.
It stands out. It's definitely distinct and different than anything else you see in Schenectady. It kind of has like a homey cottage
Yeah, it definitely
look
looks like
to
a
it.
house.
It does. It does. That which makes it just all the
Right.
more kind of odd for its location,
Right.
but in a great way.
The only way you know it was a bar if the neons are on.
That's true.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a sign out there, you're like, somebody just live in a cabin
Yep.
in the
Somebody
middle
just
of
got a big
the city.
friggin' house right there.
But it's cool because it kind of adds to that hidden gem type mystique.
Yeah.
And when you come in, it's small, but it's nice and cozy.
Yeah.
It has a warm, homey type feeling, which I really enjoy. Of course, great draft list,
Yeah,
which I'm sure you take a lot of pride in.
I do. Trying to keep up on it. Trying to regulate it a little more. And before I was doing 14, it's 14 taps, so I was doing 14 rotating beers. And it just, I'm in the kitchen 24/7 now. So to meet with the distributors and see what's new and taste all the different, because God, IPAs are all the rave right now. Taste all the different IPAs and taste all the different this and that. And then all the new breweries, like the mixed breed hat you're wearing,
Yep.
they just started coming in. He's a nice dude.
Guy? Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, Guy. He came in, dropped off a bunch of samples, but there's just so many more. I just got a call from Fifth Something Brewing out of Rochester, I think.
Fifth Harmony?
No, Fifth Base or Fifth. I don't remember.
There's a lot.
Yeah, that's the point. There's so many breweries, there's so many new beers coming out, and it was tough to keep up on. So I, like Wolf Hollow Campout Stout is a forever. It just stays there.
Mm-hmm.
McKellar always forever has its line. Sierra Nevada always has its line. Miller Lite, but before it was 14 rotatings consistently, and it was tough to keep up with.
I was going to say, man, that seems like it'll get pretty crazy real
It
quick.
is, yeah. To keep up with the balance of having, at some points, in the summer you want to have 2 sours on, and you want to have 1 stout versus, during the wintertime you want to have a few dark beers plus, 1 sour because it's not nice outside, and then you want to have all kinds of IPAs on. You've got to have the West Coast and the hazy and the old school, and it's crazy. Oh, swearing or no swearing?
Oh, go ahead and swear.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Just making sure. Sure.
I forgot to warn you. You can say whatever you want, basically. If you feel like you say something stupid, this is pre-recorded. I'll just edit it out.
Cool.
I'm not going to edit this part out, though, where I lay down the rules.
No, that's perfect.
That's
I just want to make sure.
part of the
I
game.
can turn it off, but
nah, fuck it.
Good.
One of my favorite days of the year, which Schenectady, of course, hasn't done the last 2 years, I believe, because of COVID, is the Wing Walk. And the last time we did it, we started here.
Yeah.
And we always make it a point to definitely stop here and have a drink when we're doing it. If
Yeah.
not 2, the wings are always great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, 2 years ago we took it. Judge's choice anyway. Popular vote, I think, always goes to 20 North, which I love the guys over there, but they could put out a medium wing, and they have such a friggin' following.
They do. I've noticed that.
And their wings are slamming.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
they're
down on the
delicious.
wings at all.
No, they're fantastic.
I still go over there and get wings. But they could put out a medium wing, and they would take it. Guaranteed.
It's funny you say that because I've had the Wing Walk's great. There was like 12 or if not more places with wings, and I had some really awesome wings. So when I think they took first place the one time I noticed. I'm kind of surprised. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
And I know the following, but I loved this other wing. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, we took Judge's Choice 2 years ago, right before COVID, and we did a smoked caramel bacon bourbon wing.
I remember that.
And it went on the menu. I actually smoked the wings at home, which isn't allowed necessarily, but yeah, I had 2 smokers going, and I smoked for 36 continuous hours, and
Holy
I smoked,
shit.
I think it was like 1,892 wings.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And we burned through essentially all of them, which is pretty crazy. But we do have the soup stroll coming up, so they're getting back to that. They try to do the wing walk during COVID.
I know
They did it where we offered
there was Wing Week where people
we
had
offered
wings up
a lower price and offered it at $5.10, and
I ate a lot of
20
wings that week,
increments.
helping to, as I say, support the small business. I was in here
Yeah.
and picked up, I think you guys were doing like a trifecta of spices.
Yeah, we did it's on the menu right now, the Three's Company wing.
Yeah.
And that's the it's fresh garlic, lemon pepper, and medium sauce.
There's a lot of flavor, and it was delicious.
It definitely opens up the taste buds.
Yeah, it
and
does.
Yeah, that's the number one seller right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I that's not a win I'll forget, just because like that was a lot of taste.
Yeah.
to
It's got a
take
lot.
in.
It's got a lot going on. We actually just upgraded the menu and put the Backstage Hot on, which is our take on a Nashville.
I haven't tried that. I've seen the pictures. That looks fantastic.
So we did the Nashville hot, and we did it with we did a hot Three's Company sauce. So It's not just a regular hot sauce. It's super spicy, but with the garlic, lemon, pepper, and all the above. With blue cheese crumbles on top, pickles, and some coleslaw.
You're making me hungry, and I just had a snack before I got here. How long? I know you've owned this and ran this place and worked here longer for at least the last few years. Do you know how long this building's been around? I don't know a lot about the building itself.
So what we're sitting in right now, this building specifically, not over in that section. When you walk up the stairs, this building essentially has been here for more than 100 years.
Oh, wow.
If you go downstairs and look at the foundation and whatnot, and then I want to say, so it was Frankie's for a while. That was way back. Before that, there was a law office upstairs where we're sitting right now, and then it was a bar downstairs. It's been rearranged. When I redid the floors, I found out where the bathrooms used to be and stuff, and they had moved the bathrooms and redone everything on the inside. And then that section in the kitchen got bumped on probably 28 years ago. And that's all solid fill concrete both ways. That's why if you walk in the front door we walked in and walk past the bathroom, you actually walk uphill. Oh. Because it's sinking a little bit. So it's still safe, but it's definitely showing its age. And then it's been the Backstage for Bob White owned it. Started it as Backstage 15 or 16 years ago.
Okay.
And then it went to Casey Blum and Brian Coyne. They had a falling out. Casey got out. Brian and his wife Brittany owned it. And I moved back from the city and walked in one night, and they gave me a tour, and I started paperwork essentially the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've owned it for 3.5 years, coming up on 4 in owning it like May, opening June will be 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a fun ride.
So, I mean, that's a good segue. Let's talk about how kind of you've been here for that four-ish, 4.5 years or so now. How'd you end up getting into the hospitality industry? You're a Boston Spa native, right?
Boston Spa, yeah.
I did come across, because I did do a little research.
Did you look at Instagram?
No, Gazette art. I did. Well, I mean, I looked there too. Okay. I start with that in Facebook, and then I do the Google search.
Right.
You're just basic research. I don't put a lot of effort into this.
Right.
But I did find the one Gazette article from 2018 that talked about you started working here, eventually taking over. So it must have been right after you were getting ready to reopen the place.
Yeah. So that article, just to clarify, I didn't work here before.
Oh, okay.
I reached out to the Daily Gazette and the Saratogian and all the all these things. And I was hung up on, and I was just trying to promote the place. I was like, dude, can you just write a little article about me and just say, the Backstage Pub's open again. It's under new ownership, because the last owners really faltered the name. Mm-hmm. They towards the end, they were taking reservations for shows across the street and then not opening because they didn't want to.
Oh, wow.
And they were taking deposits for up here. They used to do big private parties up here, and they were taking $100, $200 deposits and then not showing up.
Oh yeah, that's fucked up.
Right. So a lot of people, when they were first coming in, they were like, from the old gift cards to the, talking about the old place, asking about the old menu. And I'm like, this is a brand new place. And I just wanted to get the word out there that it was a brand new place. So I reached out to all these reporters, all these people, and they were like, nah, fuck off. It's been there forever. I'm like, no. But I redid the downstairs. I'm doing this. It's a brand new menu. We have a chef, blah, blah, blah. Crazy tap list. It's not your basic nonsense anymore. And they all just told me to fuck off, basically. And so one dude finally was like, listen, if you write some stuff down and send it to me, I'll edit it and publish it.
You think it wouldn't be that hard for them if they're just looking for a little...
I even took my own picture. I had my bartender take the picture of me behind the bar just to send it in. It was your Daily Gazette, you're in Schenectady. You're supposed to support.
Gotta need content for something.
Right.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that's the story behind that. As far as Boston Spa.
So did you get your start working around Saratoga restaurants?
Yep. I worked in Saratoga. So I went out to school in Buffalo and kind of fell out with that, and then came back, and we were actually it's Harvey's now in Saratoga, but it used to be Irish Times.
Okay. I've definitely seen that Harvey's.
Yeah, it's right on Filet Street.
Yep.
Big 2-story by the
that's the one.
Parking garage. And awesome place. The guy that owns it now, Matt, he's the one that came up with the Cuomo chips that we were talking about before. So yeah, before that, it was Irish Times, and this was back in, I don't even know the dates anymore. 10 years ago. I don't know, 12 years ago probably.
Nah.
And we were sitting there, and my mom and I were having a beer, and she goes, you could probably do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, you're personable, you're a people person, blah, blah, blah. So you could probably bartend, because I didn't know what direction I was going in.
Mm-hmm.
When I was out in Buffalo, I went to school for construction and project management, and I did that for years and fell out with that. Just didn't love it anymore. I don't need to be in an office. I need to be hands-on.
I get it.
And so I went out there for architecture and engineering, and then I switched over to business, and I did this, and I just fell out with it. I was like, I can't sit in a classroom. I can't sit in an office. I'm a hands-on person. I need to do it myself. Like, let's go. And so, yeah, I was at a crossroads, and she said, you should do this. And I signed up for the New York State bartending school the next day.
Oh, wow.
And went down to, it was on Long Island, actually. Week program, 40 hours. They put you in the worst environment, the club environment.
Oh,
so the dude would walk in at 8 o'clock in the morning, turn the lights off, turn the strobes on, put on house music, full bore.
Trying to make it as awful as possible.
Yep. And we all had our own station, and he just started screaming drinks. We talked or whatever, and then he's like, all right, time to make drinks. And he would scream out drinks, and you would just have to make them. That's what it was.
Oh, wow.
It was like boot camp for fucking bartending. It was wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I did that. I don't know if I still hold the record, but I broke the record. So the end of it is it's a speed test and a written test. So you take the written test, all your different varietals of wines and, different cocktails and all this stuff. And then your speed test is 20 different cocktails without looking at the recipes, while holding a conversation and not spilling within 6 minutes or less.
Wow.
So I hit, I think, 407 doing all that. And the instructor looked at me and he was like, you're a son of a bitch. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you beat my record. You beat my score. And it was just, I hit 4 minutes and 7 seconds doing 20 drinks.
It's funny when you lay out like all the aspects you were trying to focus on there, but the casual, when I go in for a drink, that's not something I think about when I'm just chatting with the person.
That's the thing. You have to multitask. You can't, bartending is about the personal experience too. Yeah. Unless you're in a club screaming Bud Light at the top of your lungs, you want to be able to chat with the bartender while they're making your drink. And that's a huge personal aspect, but it's also, that's just one of the keys of bartending. Like, you have to be personable and you have to be able to talk while you're making a cocktail. You can't look like you're under pressure. You can't look like you're overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So, it was pretty wild. But so I did that, came back up here, got a job at Applebee's in Saratoga, Wilton. It was horrible. I bartended there on Sundays for 6 months. 1 day a week I bartended.
Gotta get your foot in the door.
Yeah, served the other day. And then I went to Boca Bistro, and they were waiting. They were looking for 3 years experience or more. Mm-hmm. And I did a live interview, which is just where you get thrown into the shit, basically. Yeah. Hey, it's happy hour. Do what you can do. And I got hired there. I was there for a little while, left, went to the city for 3 months. Because I don't know if you saw on the article or Instagram, but
go to Brooklyn for 3 years?
Yeah. So for the first 3 months I went to Brooklyn, I'm a dancer. I'm a hip hop dancer.
Really?
Yeah. You would never know because I'm a big white dude with a beard.
I'll admit I'm surprised.
Yeah. Everybody normally is. People come in and they're like, I just started following you on Instagram. What the hell is this?
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. But yeah, I normally get, what the fuck is this? Why are you dancing? That's what I used to do. I used to, music videos and choreography, and I've done 20-something flash mobs.
We'll get back to this. I want to hear more about this.
Right.
How'd you get into hip-hop dancing?
I got into hip-hop, actually, when I was 14. That was just one of those things. So, all right, to back up further.
Throwing all my notes out the window. Yeah. New focus.
So when I was 14, I was a big rollerblader growing up, an inline skater.
Oh, me too.
And I was going down to Kelly Park in Ballston Spa one day. It was right after summer school, the only time I ever had to go to summer school, 9th grade. Mm-hmm. And we were going down this big hill right on Rollins Street. And at the end of the hill, it was a V turn. It's just a super sharp turn.
Yep.
I was wearing inlines, so small wheels. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, I was wearing aggressives. So small wheels, no brakes.
Oh, yeah.
I went into the grass, and my front wheels went in. I face planted. I had to get
Ooh.
airlifted to Albany Medical Center, and it lacerated my liver. I hit the ground so
Oh my
hard
God.
that it like, they said it was like a hot dog in a microwave. It just had that slit on it. Yeah.
There's no visual component to this, but my
Right.
jaws just dropped.
So yeah, that was when I was 14. I was laid up for a while. There's no surgery involved in that. It was just heal on its own, so I wasn't able to like walk up and down stairs and whatnot.
Little did you know you were going to need that liver in tip-top shape for later in life.
Well, that's the thing. Liver's a muscle, so mine split and muscle builds up bigger after that.
There you
So
go.
that's what I kind of adhere the fact that I can drink so much, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but it makes sense. So yeah, I saw an ad in the paper that was, God, I don't remember. I think it was Joanne's Dance Center at that point. It's JDC now, up in Ballston Spa, right across from Rollins Street Garage.
Mhm.
And it said hip hop classes, and immediately I'm like, all right, it's breakdancing classes. Like, I'm gonna spin on my head. Like that's what every fucking teenage kid wants to do. Like, I want to spin on my head. And I walked in, and my first costume was pleather pants and a skin tight purple shirt.
Nice.
And I danced to Craig David, I think. Craig David. And I don't know. I fell in love with it. I kept it up from there. I started teaching when I was 17. And then I taught all the way up until I moved out to Buffalo. I taught out in Buffalo at a couple different studios. Adele School of Dance, I think they're still out there. And then Joyce's something, I can't remember. But yeah, then I don't know, after bartending and whatnot, I was at Boca Bistro, and I got accepted to a dance training program in Manhattan, Broadway School, or Broadway Dance Center in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And moved down there for 3 months, moved back up because I decided that's what I wanted to do. I started working at Forno Bistro in Saratoga at the end of Broadway, and saved up, worked through track season, worked at Cantina, the old Cantina. Now it's the Mercantile.
Okay.
So I worked at the old Cantina, saved up as much as I could, got up to like 10,000 and got an apartment, moved back down to the city, and danced for 3 years.
Wow.
Yep. Danced and bartended. That was it. Not at the same time.
That is, well, I mean, you could have.
right.
Wow. That is not what something I expected to touch on.
You said go off on tangents. There it is.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So, what was the motivation so you're in Brooklyn for 3 years or so. What was the motivation to finally come back up this way then?
For me, honestly, dance changed. The city was a little toxic for me. I worked at a bad bar in Brooklyn.
I don't know as much. I don't know a lot about Brooklyn. When I go down, I'm mostly just Manhattan.
Well, so everybody knows Bed-Stuy because that's where Biggie was.
Oh, okay.
Bed-Stuy's a bad part. It's starting.
Shocker.
It's starting to be gentrified right now. We were the last ungentrified bar. So at midnight, all my regulars knew to leave because the hood was coming in. It was that simple. There's no other way to describe it.
Oh, wow.
Fake credit cards, knives. Like, we had security all night. Like, it was not a great bar.
Mm-hmm.
Atmosphere was great during the day. One of the best brunches. They won Bloody Mary of the Year several years in a row. Great food. But it just hit that time, and that's when the shit happened.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what was funny when I moved back up here, and I was talking about buying a bar in Schenectady, which I'm right next to the City Mission. Salvation Army's here. The jail's up the road.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, you got to be careful, Schenectady. I'm like, I just lived in Bed-Stuy for 3 years. Like, I've been followed home. I've had knives and guns pulled on me.
Mm-hmm.
I've jumped the bar, chased people down the road. Like, I'll be okay.
I mean, people still make those Schenectady jokes from time and time again.
Yeah.
But this place has changed so much over
Guaranteed.
the last
Every
15
place,
to 20 years. It's crazy.
Right. Every place has bad parts.
Yeah.
You go to Saratoga, and they're known for track season and Broadway and Caroline Street. But then you go up towards like the Salvation Army up there, and it's not fucking good.
No.
There are bad places everywhere. And people are just, I don't know, Schenectady is one whole bad place, all because of what, Hamilton Hill? Which is just, I don't know. Hamilton Hill has been there forever. It's Hamilton Hill.
Yeah.
Don't go up there. Like, if you don't want to go to a bad part, don't go to Hamilton Hill. That's it. Other than that, downtown is booming.
It's so different. I'm from Schenectady. Like I said, I moved south when I was 15, came back when I was 20. And just seeing the difference from when I was here as a kid, like it's not the same, even close to the same.
Right.
With all the money that's gone into downtown, the casino, and just everything else around it.
Right. And they're opening back up the stretch over by North J right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're opening that back up. That's the next project, going over to the casino.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's getting opened back up. That's actually, you said you're from Schenectady. That garage that's right on the corner right there,
Yep.
JoJo's.
Yeah.
It used to be JoJo's Auto Service. It's my grandfather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's hopefully going to be the next bar. I'm working with
Breaking news.
a bank right now. Yeah, I haven't really announced it, but now it's getting announced. So yeah, JoJo's Tap Room. Yeah, it's a 2-bay garage. It's got a nice little office on it, and when he was alive, I mean, that's where he always was. His house is right, pretty much attached to it. And yeah, he passed a year ago. He passed on the 1st. He made it out of 2020. Passed on the 1st of 2021.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, in the process of doing that and doing almost a beer garden meets 151 with the backstage food.
Nice.
Wide open space, industrial, huge patio, plants all the way around it, big wrought iron fence kind of thing. So yeah, that's the next project.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, well, might as well bring it back to Backstage.
Yeah.
So you're back in the Schenectady area. What
Yep.
was it about Backstage? I think you touched on this already.
So it wasn't really anything about Backstage. It was
It was just an opportunity that
yeah.
arose.
So this guy that used to work for Artisanal, Dan Kravitz.
Yep,
He
I know,
works.
yep.
Yeah, so you know Dan. He works for what's he work in Albany now?
City Beer Hall.
City Beer Hall.
He left
Yep.
Artisanal for there.
Yeah. So Dan's an awesome dude. Like he's definitely a little pretentious when it comes to certain things, but he is
delivered my beer when they were doing delivery
Yeah.
during COVID.
he is one of the biggest beer snobs I've ever met, but he is brilliant. He has such a fucking palate. Like any time that he stopped in, if I needed to describe a beer or learn about it or had a question, like he was my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
He's brilliant when it comes to that stuff. So anyway, he was working at Artisanal at the time, back when they were on Geyser.
Yep.
And we were big fans before they started to distribute with DeCrescenti. We would go there, and I had a kegerator. My mom had a kegerator at her house, and I was still staying there at the time before I bought this place, right when I moved back from the city. And yeah, we would go there and get kegs, and met Dan, and I don't know, my mom and uncle got to talking with him and said something about the Beer Abbey. And he used to be the GM at the Beer Abbey.
Really?
Something-
Yeah, I remember the Beer Abbey. It wasn't
Yeah.
open all that long, I don't
Right,
think, over on Union
right.
Street.
Yep.
It's been like 3 or 4 different places since.
Yeah. So they were talking about the Beer Abbey with him, and he goes, nope, don't go over there. The codes, the basement, blah, blah, blah. Like there's, the electrical box downstairs is behind a pillar kind of thing. Like everything's out of code. It would have had to be redone.
That doesn't surprise me. All those buildings in that stretch are like 100 years old.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to this
Yeah.
place too. Like, so there's definitely stuff here.
Schenectady's old.
Yeah. But yeah, he just said something about the backstage. And I don't know, my mom and uncle, like I said, talked to him about it, and we just came down here on a random day. Came over here, had the tour, hung out, went over to the lighthouse, had dinner, talked about it, or had happy hour, talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we came back here and grabbed something to eat after I got the tour, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much sold on it. It took all the day for me to... I was just tired of doing it for somebody else.
Yeah.
You get
That
to
makes
that
sense.
point where you just, yeah. I'm looking at, working at, the place is called the Black Swan in the city. They're now shut down. I think COVID took them out. But yeah, the owner, I'm watching all this money come in, and I'm doing, on an average night, $3,000 or $4,000 in sales by myself. I'm like, the fuck am I doing this for somebody else? Why am I not, doing it for me? It's been hard, but it is what it is. I'm doing it for myself. I don't care if I work 24 hours for myself. I don't want to work 10 hours for somebody else. So, yeah, started the paperwork the next day, and I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months later, sold, signed the papers.
Wow.
And,
I believe that was back in 2018.
Yep.
I want to say I vaguely remember what it looked like prior.
It was,
that.
yeah, it was a lot of, so they have I still have all the,
How much remodel? You guys did a
Posters.
lot of remodeling and stuff,
I did
right?
all the remodel
Yeah.
myself, with the exception of the floor downstairs. My cousin Pete came in and helped. If I had to do anything like switch out little lights and stuff like that, my Uncle Joe came in and did all the electrical. My mom painted. I taped all the walls. Floors downstairs, the wainscoting on the walls, which is all rough cut lumber from Curtis. So my mom came in and double coated polyurethane everything, painted the ceiling tile by tile downstairs.
Holy
and
cow.
yeah.
Real family affair.
Yeah. I've got a good family, tight family, and just reached out and said, yeah, I needed help, and they would come down after work. My Uncle Joe worked at GE for a while, so he would pop over and just do whatever I needed to have done, and cleaned out the kitchen and got some new stuff back there, got some new coolers. They had a 3-bay reach-in beer cooler behind the bar that we had to lift up and over the bar. It was broken, been broken for years.
Jeez.
And they just kept it there. It was like 600 pounds. We had to lift it up and over the bar. It took 6 of us.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Almost demolished the bar. Like, yeah, it was a lot of remodel. It was probably 3 or 4 months of remodel, and then we opened in June on the last show of the year, which sucked.
Oh, for Proctor's?
For Proctor's. The last show of the year, and then they shut down for summer. So we open up on one of the busiest weeks. No menu. I didn't even have a handwritten menu. We had a handwritten menu the next day. That Tuesday we opened, we were literally just, I bought everything. I was like, give people the first round. That's on me. And send out, we had a bunch of different deviled eggs made, and we were sending out wings and just appetizers. Just a little smorgasbord, here you go. Take this. And then the next day we had a handwritten menu, and we had a couple more things and whatnot. And then, yeah. And then Proctor shut down for the summer, and we were still known as that bad bar.
Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty slow.
I didn't realize the reputation the place had prior to you taking it over. Like I said, I didn't know a lot about downtown Schenectady, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
How long did it take before you kind of really started to see an uptick in guests then and trying to clean up the name?
I would say 1.5 years.
So you guys are like highly regarded now. A lot of people love this place. You have a good reputation with the draft list.
Yeah.
The food looks fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I've only had wings so far.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to get here to try to eat more, and those were delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, we well, so to give you the backstory of that, so I had a cook in here.
Shout out to the chefs you had.
Yeah. He's not great. He was a cook, he wasn't a chef. He came in here and it started off pretty good, and then I realized how much of an alcoholic he was, and we went through, I was bartending at the time. I had myself and a girl I actually used to teach dance to, Jess, who then since worked over at Frog and worked for, Reform Architecture and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But that's what she went to school for, so it made sense to, move on. So I had this guy in here, and we went through 13 cooks in the first 2 months.
Oh, wow.
3 months of being open. Yeah, one day he just went too far and called me up, still hammered, and he's, I get different offers all day, every day. You're fucking paying me this, blah, blah, blah. And I was, all right, man, come get your last check. We're good. And I had 2 other guys in the kitchen at that point who were just line cooks. They didn't know what they were doing on the grill and stuff like that. And took me another 3 weeks, I think. There was this big dude, Rolando, who came in hammered one day and threatening to beat the shit out of the other guy as I was bartending during a show rush. And,
opportune moment?
Yeah, great. Tickets lined out the ass, and he's like, got the cleaver in his hand or something, like threatening the other dude, essentially. And I went back there, and I'm babysitting him, and he finally just says, after this ticket, I leave. I go, what do you mean you leave? He goes, I quit. Why don't you get the fuck out of my kitchen right now then?
Yeah.
He goes, what? I go, you're not going to cook anything else in my kitchen if you think you're going to be unprofessional like this and quit during a show rush. Get the fuck out right now. And he was a bigger dude than me. Mm-hmm. He was probably 6'5", used to be like a bodybuilder-ish, super wide shoulders. And he grabbed his stuff, turned around, looked at the other kid who was an Army guy, and backhanded him.
Oh, wow.
I caught him under his armpit and threw him through the kitchen door. He barreled out onto the floor in the middle of a show rush. We're full. Comes barreling out of the floor, and I just ran and threw him through that side door.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It was a good show rush. And then I just turned around, and it was an older clientele that night. I don't remember what show it was, but I just looked at the ladies, and I was like, listen, ladies, I'm sorry about that. They go, well, looks like you did what you needed to do, so yes, ma'am. And I just went back. They didn't know they'd
get a show at the bar, too.
Right. So, yeah, I went back in the kitchen, and I looked at the kid, and younger kid. I was like, hey, man, he's got tears rolling down his face. And I go, all right, just collect yourself for a minute, and I don't need a piece of fried chicken down when you're ready. There's no stopping in a bar.
There isn't.
Yeah. I'm sure you've talked to other people about that. Like, there's no time to stop.
No.
People out in the dining room don't give a shit.
No.
it doesn't matter if you're busy. It doesn't matter if you chop a finger off. Put some duct tape on it and keep going. Like, nobody cares. I've cut myself so many times back there, gushing blood, whatever it is, and I get somebody and I'm like, all right, grab the duct tape, grab the electrical tape, grab the fucking super glue. Let's go. Take the buns off for me. They're gonna burn. Like, you don't stop.
It's a crazy business.
Yeah. Give me a shot of Fernet. We're going. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing about this place?
Oh, I don't know. The library's starting to be my favorite up here.
Let's talk about this upstairs area of the library, because this is awesome. This is like a awesome little lounge.
Yep.
Almost has a man room type.
Yeah, it's definitely like a man cave-ish feel, but we're starting to get, we're getting a very wide variety of people up here, which is nice.
You haven't had this renovated for that long, have you? This upstairs part?
This actually I've been working on for the entirety of the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I actually, when I first opened, I used to sleep right behind me. I had an air mattress up here for the first 2.5, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So clothes scattered all about, and I would work, 14, 16 hours downstairs, and then come up here, go to bed, get up, go over to the YMCA.
Never late for work.
Yep. Work out, take a shower, come back and open. So that was the first 3 months. And then I really started renovating it. It was during COVID, actually, that I got the barn doors done. And Joe Boudreau, who is one of the bartenders up here, he's all over the place. He was over at the Nest at one point. He's been at Daly's on Yates for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best bartenders I've ever worked with, like mixologist, and I don't throw that word around lightly. Nobody really likes to be called mixologist. And if you call yourself a mixologist, you're like, all right, fucking douche.
It does sound more douchey when the person that is the mixologist uses the term.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm a mixologist. No, you're not. Stop it. Like, you made a vodka cranberry. Good job. But yeah, so Joe actually, he stopped working over at the Nest and he came over here, and he's the type of person that, he's kind of like me. I attain to be more like him, let's say. Once he gets something in his head, he doesn't stop until it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he told me right from the beginning. He's like, do you want to open upstairs? I go, yeah. He's like, if you tell me that you want to open upstairs, like, I'm not going to stop. We are going to be here every single day. So he works an engineering job during the day, probably 10 or 12 hours. And then he would come over here and I would have a list of shit for him to do.
Oh, wow.
And he would stain the doors, poly the walls, put this up, assemble the stools and tables I got, just literally everything, black out the windows. So he did, I would say 90% up here. And then I came up when I could help, but I'm still running the bar downstairs.
Yep.
So.
Well, he did an awesome job.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a great job.
Why the library? I know that's the tag you had given this.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like if your significant other was at home almost, and you just, hey, where are you? And you could just say, well, I stopped at the library real quick.
I did. It's a good name. When you're sitting, if you haven't seen it or been in it, you may not understand. But if you're sitting here, it's a good name. It suits it. It has that kind of reading room, I said, lounge.
I was going for speakeasy lounge.
You even have a shelf with some books over there. So,
yeah, I've got a couple shelves with books.
There you go.
We've got random books. Actually, we have a guy that works for me right now, Joel. If you're into poetry and all that stuff, he has several books out, and he bartends up here.
Nice.
And he, Jay Dorian up there, he just published his first novel, which is called Lucid.
Cool.
But yeah, he's got a couple poetry books up here and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's got books and it's got all the above, and it's normally dark and candle lit and separate cocktail list. We're actually switching up next week.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we do barrel aged cocktails behind you. So if you want to try those at some point, all the little barrels right there.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I've got in the Sagamore Rye, I've got a chocolate old fashioned that's been in there for 7 or 8 months.
Oh geez.
Yeah. Then we've got Negronis and Bouvardiers.
Negroni I'm familiar with.
Yep. So it's a barrel aged Negroni. The Bouvardier is Negroni made with whiskey.
Okay.
And then I did my first time doing vodka. It's a lemon drop ginger martini. So yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff, and there's memberships up here and stuff like that, and almost like a cigar locker, but it's a whiskey locker.
It is, and it definitely has like that underground home type feel, which I really dig. Nice and relaxing.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be more of the loungy type. I was talking with somebody about it last night that was kind of like, she signed up for a membership, and I showed her the last page, and it just says on top, the not so fine print, or the not so fine print. And she was like, well, what is it? I go, don't be an asshole. That's basically what we tell people.
It should just be a general rule of life.
Right. But downstairs, people want to rip shots and they want to do this. And let's do this. Let's do another round of shots and the round of shots. Up here, it's not that place. This is supposed to be a lounge. It's supposed to have that loungy feel. You're supposed to be able to come up here, and we have a separate menu too. I mean, we still do regular food up here, but we have, a nice charcuterie board, and we do a sweet plate, actually, a dessert charcuterie board from chocolate from Bittersweet Candy.
Oh, wow.
Which, if you've never been there, my friend Heather Lent owns it, and she's been doing it for...
Are they on J Street?
Right on J Street, Yep. Heather Lent right over on J Street, and she's busting her ass right now because Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh, God, yeah.
But we'll be doing events with her, and we do events up here, and we did one with, I can't remember the name of their company right now, but Andrew and Courtney just actually got married. Cool people. They make cheesecakes, and they make some of the best fucking cheesecakes I've ever had. Like, somebody brought me, Joe.
I love cheesecake.
Joe actually brought me one for my birthday in November, and it was like fucking 10 pounds.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it was like a tiramisu espresso with candied walnuts, blah, blah, blah.
That sounds fantastic.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, I can't remember the name of their company right now, but... maybe I'll get it to you and you can add it to the show notes or something.
I did just try to finagle some free cheesecake.
Yeah, right?
That's worth a shot.
Yeah. So we do stuff like that. We have wines up here. We still have crazy craft beer, only in cans and bottles. So yeah, whenever you're ready for another one, just...
I'm good for now.
Okay.
Something I wanted to touch on. You've got involved a little... One thing I've noticed about Schenectady, just following all the social media and stuff, it's a real tight-knit group amongst... just like a lot of places amongst all the local small restaurants, and breweries and stuff like that. You got involved with some collaboration beers, right? Between you and Wolf Hollow and stuff like that, and for charity and proceeds and stuff. What were some of those?
So we started doing that a while ago, and that was just, I'm good friends with Kyle Folk up at, he's the brewer up at Wolf Hollow, and then Brian Bacon. I'm blanking on his freaking name right now. The brewer over at Mad Jack. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, he's a brewer over at Mad Jack, and they're two of the best brewers I've ever, known or worked with. And to listen to them talk back and forth, I mean, all I can think of is, okay, this is science. Like, this is great. And they're just brilliant at what they do. And then Hunters on Jay.
Great place.
Yeah, we became great friends, Jay and I. And I looked to him for a lot of advice, and we bounce each other, ideas off each other, and we talk pretty much daily during COVID. But anyway, back to that. Basically, we got together and we were like, let's do a bar crawl. Let's brew a beer at somebody's place and all do a simultaneous release that day. And we did a bar crawl from here over to Hunters on Jay. Ended over there, had a bunch of pizzas and whatnot.
Nice.
The first, I think we did St. Jude's first, and then we did Jack's Place. Raised a bunch of money. And the big one we just did was Mission 22. My girlfriend actually got me onto that. We were talking about it last night. Mission 22 is like a relief fund for veteran suicide awareness. Mm-hmm. And she was big into it when we first met. And she was actually they do a push-up challenge. So 22 push-ups.
Oh, I remember your
day.
videos on that one.
So per day, for a month. She got me into that. And then the next time she was doing it, she actually did 2,200 push-ups in a month.
Holy shit.
Which is absurd. Yeah, she's a monster. Like, she's not a monster big. She's so fucking driven, and she just she did push-ups, and I was like, fuck, I can't do 10 push-ups, and she's ripping off, she would rip off 50 at a rip.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what the hell?
I think I max out at 30-ish.
Yeah. I think I started doing the 22 actually yesterday at the gym. I was like, oh, this is great. I do 22 push-ups.
I do 50 a day, but I do 25 at a time.
Okay.
Just a little something.
Yeah, it's nice to have that break.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. We raised, that was us, Katie O'Burns. Tommy Kennedy got in with that one.
Yep.
And then, sorry, I'm trying to find.
Brian's last name?
Yeah. Why can't I remember it? It's bothered me so much. And it's funny, I'm going to see it and be like, oh shit. Brian Conley over at Mad Jack.
Well, this will be a fun a fun experiment to see if he listens to the podcast.
Hopefully he
and
does.
then attacks you for not remembering his last name.
We'll cut that out. No. So yeah, we did the Mission 22. We brewed we actually brewed over at Wolf Hollow, I want to say that time. So what they do is they bounce back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the first beer was called Big Stupid Stout.
That one I've seen.
Yep. So that was one of our best ones. And I mean, all of them were delicious. We have the Big Stupid Stout on right now. And we actually named that because Kyle was just talking one day, and he's a big dude, and he was just like, I just want to brew a Big Stupid Stout. And I go, well, let's fucking name it that.
It's a great name.
Yeah,
I like that.
Big Stupid Stout.
Yeah. Stupid
spelled, STOO.
Needs a catch, a hook.
Yeah. Yep. So we did the Big Stupid Stout. We've done Dum Dum Stupid IPA, which is from Parks and Rec. Dum Dum Stupid over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we took that. Brian and I are big fans. Brian Conley.
Great show.
Brian Conley and I are big fans of Parks and Rec.
That is a great show.
Yeah. And then for the Mission 22, we did a big fruit salute. So we did a fruited sour that came out fantastic. And we raised we did a donation based on anybody that came in and did 22 push-ups to any of the 5 bars. The bars donated. So we collectively added everything up, and we donated $2 per person. So we ended up, plus we donated back the beer and stuff like that. We did T-shirts for it. We raised almost $5,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was probably the best one so far. But yeah, it's all about, like you were saying, tight-knit group and being local and stuff like that. Wolf Hollow's not huge. Mad Jack's not huge. Hunters on Jade, I'm not huge.
Mm-hmm.
But many small businesses make a big business.
And it's crazy because these are all top-notch quality places too. Hunters is great. They have a fantastic draft
Hunters
selection.
destroys my tap list.
It was funny.
I try to keep up with Jay, and he's just like,
oh man,
he's always a step ahead.
That tap list is crazy. And
yeah.
And I walked in there one day, and when I hadn't been there in a really long time, again, another place on the Windwalk, we would definitely stop and grab a beer. And I'm looking at the bartender. We're looking at each other. We're like, I fucking know you. Zach.
Oh, he used to work here.
No, we worked at Target together years ago.
Oh, no shit.
We're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. So it was funny. Zach actually used to work here back when Brittany and Brian owned it, or Casey and Brian owned it. So 2 owners ago, he worked here.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's funny.
Yeah. Zach and I worked at Target together just years ago.
Yeah, that's
it had
awesome.
to be. That was probably 2002, 2003 time frame. Not long after I moved back up here from the South, which I think was 2001. Or maybe, no, it was around 2003. Somewhere around that early 2000.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hadn't seen each other in years. Like, you look so fucking familiar.
Yeah. Now he's all tatted up.
Oh, yeah. He did not have the tattoos when I worked with him at Target. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So I suppose we could expect more collaborations to come in the future.
Yeah.
I recommend one called Stories from Backstage.
Stories from Backstage?
Yeah.
I would do that.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
I want to get involved somehow.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
One day.
So we try to involve as many people as possible, and just like I said, we did a bar crawl for the Big Fruit Salute and went from here over to Hunters and whatnot. And then right around Halloween, it's actually on right now, it's from 2020, is the Big Stupid Stout, and it was a Halloween marshmallow a Halloween candy stout, 9.5%, and it's delicious beer. But people are scared of 9.5%.
That's a sipping beer,
right? So we actually got Heather Lent from Bittersweet Candy involved in that, and she helped with the chocolate aspect of it and this and that. So yeah, again, many small businesses make a big business, and yeah.
Mind if we take a quick little break before we finish up?
By all means.
So that was a nice little break. I just turned it back on, so you convinced me to take another shot of Fernet after I just got another beer. And all you had to do was say, you want another Fernet? I'm like, I'm not going to say no.
Right. That's all it takes.
So cheers, sir. I'm going straight home after this and then not moving, so.
It's not a bad thing with the storm coming in and everything. Might as well.
And I grabbed this can of beer out of the fridge mainly because the label is the first thing I noticed with the octopus on it.
Big
just
octopus,
undersea.
yep.
And I didn't even know what it was. So Tox Brewing Company, just called Red Stuff, crazy sour ale with raspberry, cranberry, strawberry, pomegranate, cherry, lactose, and vanilla. That's a lot of ingredients.
Yeah. It's what it has to be now to keep up with anything in the market. It can't just be IPA. It's got to be, it's a Mosaic Citra hopped with, it's just wild.
That's not bad. I like it.
Yeah.
It's not overly sour, which is
Right.
nice.
Yeah. I think they're getting away from that and just doing more like super fruit. It's healthy.
I do like it where it's just enough sour to have the sourness, but not just blatantly overwhelming. Yeah. Forgot what we were talking about. Oh, the collaboration beers. We're gonna stories
beers.
from Backstage. That's my recommendation for the next one. I don't even care what kind of beer it is.
Hey, I'd do it. I'll set it up with. That'd be fun to set it up with Kyle and Brian and just.
We could do a whole podcast episode on making the beer.
Podcast, them talking about it and stuff would be awesome.
I'm down for that.
That sounds really good.
So it's been a crazy couple of years as we kind of get towards the end of the podcast here with COVID and everything. I mean, obviously everything shut down for a while. Seems like there's different sets of challenges every day. I'll say for the most part, things are about as normal as they have been to an extent. But I mean, what are still your biggest challenges?
Things are getting back to being normal. It's just the constant talk about, are you vaxxed? Are you not? Are you, this different variant and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's almost not worth talking about anymore.
Yeah.
It's, everybody's had it. If you haven't had it, you're going to get it. If you're not vaxxed and you get it, like, it's your fault. You've had plenty of time to be vaxxed by now. I have zero opinion about it. I don't care anymore. So everybody wants to talk about it.
What's funny is I live with my girlfriend, of course. She caught it. All right, we're both vaccinated. She caught it. I didn't catch it.
Right.
And I think much to her chagrin, I think it was making her angry because I'm like, stay on that side of the house. Right. Just stay over there. She'd walk around and just touch stuff. I'm just follow behind her like, you're infecting stuff.
Yeah. Just start spritzing it.
Yeah. I was spritzing it with alcohol. Partially just doing it to annoy her.
I've had it multiple times. Like we all have. Yeah. We've all had it before. And if it's a runny nose, I mean, everything's a symptom at this point, which is, I don't know, I think is crazy. But, they posted, what was it, a couple weeks ago, the flu is making a comeback. Nah, I mean, the flu's been here the whole time. The flu didn't just be like, hey, COVID, you go ahead. I'll take the back
We're
burner.
taking this year off.
Right. We're going to take this fucking year off. Me and Cold are going to sit over here. Like, I don't know.
When it comes to running backstages, they're still having
when it comes to running backstage.
From what I could tell, mostly a lot has the wing production fluctuates.
Yeah, so everything's going up. It's that simple. Like we've had to raise our prices, and if people want to get mad about that, like I'm not sorry about it. I'm not sorry that I've raised my prices.
It shouldn't be.
Like you're coming in, you're paying for an atmosphere, you're paying for good quality food, you're paying for top of the line. Like we're doing. I don't know, we did like pork belly bites yesterday, which came out fucking awesome. Like we're doing a crazy sandwich today. I'm still trying to pump out good specials and utilize everything. But yeah, wings, I mean, God, there's been all these memes and whatnot and all these, comparisons between last year or 2 years ago and this year. Oil for fryers went up. They're up to like $42 for a 35 pound.
That I didn't even
They used to be $22 or $25. So you're going up almost 100%. And we have to change our oil out. Like, I mean, God, I can't imagine. We were talking about 20 North with their wings. I can't imagine how often they have to change their oil out. And they have huge fucking fryers.
Yeah.
I mean, my fryers each take almost 42 pounds of fryer oil.
Jeez.
So to be changed out, I mean, pending the busyness of us and whatnot every week.
Yeah,
it's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, it is.
And people don't see that. People are like, well, wings are going up. Well, yeah, wings are $130 a case. They were up to $160 at one point.
Jeez.
But during COVID, because they had to freeze everything, we were down to like $40 a case. Wings used to average right around like $90 to $100, I want to say, a case. Mm-hmm. Maybe even lower on discount, maybe $85. Now I'm at $132 a case. But then on top of that, you're taking your $132 case, and I bake my wings off beforehand. I par bake. So I season them, bake them in the oven at 350 for an hour or whatever it is. So they're fully cooked. So I have faster times. Mm-hmm. So my ticket times are 7 minutes for wings versus a fresh wing. I think you have to go like 13 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
So now you're talking about the gas for the oven to run. You're talking about the wear and tear on the pans and cleaning the pans. So that's labor cost. Then the fryer oil you're using, plus the gas that's on for the fryers. Then the sauce. Like my sauce is all like my garlic Parmesan sauce is shaved parm, heavy cream, and fresh garlic. It's not a sprinkle on sauce. It's not something that I buy. Like, I fresh make it every single order. So that jacks up the price more. So we're charging $15 for 10 wings, so $1.50 a wing. And there are other places out there getting way more than that.
Oh yeah.
When trying to keep it reasonable.
I feel like if you're not familiar or kind of somewhat plugged into the small business idea, that may be surprising. I look at that now and see it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I've been doing this long enough and have met enough awesome people to know their struggles before COVID and what kind of effect it can have.
Guaranteed. Now it's just everything is going up.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So you got to really want it, you're going to pay for it.
Right. Sorry, we got to raise it $1.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you want to be mad about it, like, just be mad. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You can come and complain. I want to talk to the owner. I'm right here. Let me know.
I don't get people's mentality when it gets to that point. Like, I don't give a shit what you have to say.
People just don't understand that things, not everybody, but a lot of people don't understand that things cost money.
Yeah.
Like when we bring in extra blue cheese. Yeah, extra blue cheese is 75 cents. I make my own blue cheese dressing. It's expensive. It takes time to make. I have to make it today. Like, but people are like, well, I can't believe that's, you get the people that come in and ask for like 9 ketchups. We don't charge for extra ketchup, but shit, do you think ketchup's free? Like, it's not that ketchup's expensive, but it's all these little things.
It's the principle.
I remember working in the city, and this lady came in and asked for a cup of hot water with lemon, and then she made her own tea. And I charged her for the tea, and she was like, well, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, why? She's like, because I brought my own tea. And I'm like, okay, so you're not allowed to bring your own beer to the bar. Why are you bringing your own tea to the bar?
That's true.
Just buy a fucking tea from us. Now, on top of that, you had to have the labor cost for somebody to cut a lemon. The lemon actually costs money. And the hot water costs money because you're heating the water. And then you have to pay the dishwasher to wash the glass. Like, I don't know. People don't see the labor costs and everything behind it and all that stuff. It's people go out and expect, I don't know, everything. Well, I just want extra onions. All right, well, onions cost something. Like, if you want an extra onion from Price Chopper, you just walk in and be like, listen, I want extra onion for my burger tonight, and take an onion. No, you fucking buy an onion.
Yeah.
So why is it any different in a restaurant?
I don't know. But I thought it would be fun to wrap up
another shot of no, I'm just kidding.
Dear God, no. Super Bowl predictions. Super Bowl is 1 week from, well, I don't even know what today is. Thursday? So we got a little over a week to go. And I may be slow, but I will certainly have this posted before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I am probably the only bar owner that doesn't give a shit about sports. I don't even know who's in it.
Cincinnati Bengals, LA Rams. I haven't watched football in like 2 years, honestly. Yeah. I used to be. I'm still a Giants fan, but after they started to suck, I gradually lost interest year after year until the last few months when New York finally legalized their online gambling. I've been a football fiend the last month,
right?
Because I've had money on everything.
Yeah. So I always have a running joke with all my reps and everybody that comes in that wants to talk sports. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, the Giants are playing tonight, or the Steelers are playing. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger. And I'm like, oh, who? He plays for, and I'll just throw out something random and be like, oh, yeah, he plays for the Oilers, right? They're like, that's fucking hockey. I'm like, I know it's hockey. Like, I know the basic concept of everything. I just don't follow it like everybody else. And
I generally... What I would do on Sundays once I lost interest was, I guess, start playing video games instead. I'm like, it just cuts into my video game time.
Yeah. Yeah. I just never, I don't know. I never got into it. I played every sport growing up. Like I played rugby and hockey and baseball, basketball, all the above.
I'm a big hockey fan.
I love hockey.
Yeah, hockey's great.
I could watch hockey on TV all day.
I'm a huge Rangers fan. I'm a huge Rangers fan.
Yeah. I was out in Buffalo, so I was always a Sabres fan. And we were talking about this yesterday because Fuddruckers used to do $1 pints Labatt's and $5 burgers during Sabres games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuddruckers isn't bad either.
No, they were great burgers. But I always loved about going to hockey games is they're not like any other game. They're not like basketball and football and baseball. People aren't screaming in the stands.
Some.
Right. But you get that, he's going in for the goal. And then the crowd's fucking silent until they score. Like, it's such a cool concept. Like, the whole place just goes silent.
I've been to MSG for Ranger games twice.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking awesome experience.
Yeah.
I do remember my girlfriend and I went to an afternoon game. So it started at 12 or 12:30. We're there at like 11:45, get to our seats. We're like, well, let's go get a beer. It was Sunday. they wouldn't serve it to me until the clock hit noon.
Oh my
Are you
god.
kidding me?
No.
I gotta I'm standing to the side of the register literally for 3 minutes.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
No, that's stupid. That was always a thing in Buffalo. We used to go to games, but we didn't actually go into the games. We just pre-gamed. We just sat outside the gates and
Nothing wrong with that. I'm down to do that too.
Yeah, pre-game with the brothers and whatnot of the fraternity, and then they went into the games and we went back to the house.
You know what's funny though? Like I bought the 2 large beers. I think they were Yuenglings, and I forgot how much they were.
$84.
It was probably close to 30 for the 2 large beers. And I was looking at ticket prices because the Islanders were playing down in Brooklyn because they were using the Brooklyn arena.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just bought 2 beers for the same price as a fucking Islanders ticket.
Right.
Like, we could have just gone down.
That's where they make the money.
Ridiculous.
That's where they make the
Because
money.
the Islanders suck.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to see them in Brooklyn.
Right.
Like, that's crazy. But, yeah, I didn't care about football the last couple of years until I could start gambling on it again.
Yeah.
So, and I still don't care about the teams. I don't give a shit who wins. I just,
Right.
Whoever
I can't wait for the halftime show.
whoever puts money in my pocket thanks to my bets, that's
Right.
what I'm cheering for.
Right. The halftime show is going
I'm
to be
super
like
curious.
we're back in 2000s.
I know, man.
Like 1990.
Like, I am super curious to see how that. I'm honestly shocked that's the halftime show.
I think
Eminem, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke. I thought
I'm
when
like-
somebody posted it, I was like, well, that'd be really fucking cool. Snoop's going to be there and whatnot. You're like,
How are they doing
Cool.
this after Prince was too risky with just his shadow?
oh my God, yeah. I remember that.
I'm like,
So I'll watch the Super Bowl if I have time kind of thing, but I've always watched the halftime show. And it was funny.
keep setting this down like I'm not going to keep drinking it. I don't. It's just a force of habit.
Speaking of being a dancer, I was actually the halftime show with Justin Timberlake. It was one of my favorite ones. I don't remember who fucking played.
I don't remember what Super Bowl that was.
Right. It was a few years ago. But we sat down, and being in the city, he comes out on stage, and I'm like, oh shit, that's so-and-so. That's Anzi Scroob. That's this person. That's this person. That's Marty Kudelka. Like, I dance with all these people. My mom's like, could you shut the fuck up?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what? She's like, I'm trying to watch it. I'm like, I know, but I've danced with these people, and I've taken class from that dude, and I've done this, and I've done this.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was great. But she was like, could you shut the fuck up? Just being annoying trying to watch Justin Timberlake. But no, to answer your question, I would say that
I think the Rams
I'd say
are
the
gonna,
Red Sox are going to take
There
it.
you go, the Red Sox for the Lombardi Trophy this year.
Yeah, I'd say the Yanks are going to take it probably.
Like I think the Rams are going to win.
Yeah.
But the way I do a lot of bets, but I do I don't bet a lot of money. 'Cause
Right.
I don't bet anything I can't afford to
Just kind of spread
lose.
it out.
Yeah, I spread it out, and I'm far enough up that I just still do like $5 or $10 bets.
Mhm.
But I do these crazy ass parlays that when I hit them, that's
Right.
when I make everything back and then some.
Yeah.
So I just bet on whatever they advertise because I
Right.
don't know shit. I can't piece a 3 or 4 part bet together myself and have a shot. So I will root for whatever is going to put money in my pocket.
Right.
I don't care who wins. But I thought the Chiefs were going to destroy the Bengals, and the Bengals are beat them and are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now I think the Rams are going to win, so they'll probably lose. That's why I don't leave my betting decisions up to me anymore.
Right. You just let it's almost like going to Saratoga track and like betting whoever tells you on the pink sheet.
I've never fucking won on a horse. Never.
I've always done it, but I used to bet my grandma. We always used to take her every year. We would go just one day, and we used to go, and she would bet win, place, and show on if it was a gray horse, you bet it. If it took a shit, you bet it.
Lighter on its feet.
Yep. And she would bet on a name that resembled somebody that she liked or something that she liked, or a funny name. So I picked the funniest name, and I bet $2 to win, place, and show, or the longest odds. And you go there to fucking lose money. Like, there are people that... I knew people when I was working at Applebee's that would literally take the entire track season off from their jobs.
It's not that entertaining to me.
They would go, and they researched all year, though. And he would come in, and I'm trying to remember, Angel maybe? I can't remember his name. Chris. And he would walk in and be like, yeah, dude, we had a good day. I'm like, all right, so why are you at Applebee's? He's like, we won $14K today. Like, that's disgusting. Like, how do you know to bet, or how do you have that much money?
I don't have the balls to bet that kind of money.
No way. God, the most I ever... We used to go to Seneca and play poker, and the most I ever put down on a table was like $100. It was like $100 buy-in for a 1-2 blind Texas Hold'em
The most I've ever bet at one time is $100.
Yeah, that's all you need to bet.
No,
these guys were going and dropping
I
$1,000
was already
and
up, so that if I lost it, I never really had it to begin with.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yep.
But I think that's going to do it, friend.
All right.
Now I will sit my down beer so I can go back to my notes.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap on another successful edition of Stories from a Bar. Big thank you, Terry, for hanging out, having some drinks, telling me all about your life and backstage. This has been a fun time.
Hell yeah.
And again, there is merch downstairs, people, because he's wearing that awesome flannel. If you're not doing it already, be sure to go and like and follow all the Backstage Pub and Library 501 Facebook, Instagram pages, whichever social medias they have. I'm not sure of all of them.
Instagram and Facebook, yep.
Okay. They'll certainly make you hungry and thirsty based on the pictures I've seen, that's for sure. So when you see all that fine, awesome food and drink, be sure to come to Backstage Pub and order it. And that is following social media, step 1, coming here and buying shit, step 2.
That's it.
There you go. You can also check out BackstagePub501.com for the food and drink menus, I believe. Is that correct? Yep, that's up to date. Anything else you want to throw in?
Just other information about the library. We're open up here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday now, 4:30 to 9-ish. We were here until probably 10 o'clock last night, and come check us out.
Awesome. Huge thank you out there to everybody checking out the show. I really appreciate it. You can, of course, follow Stories from a Bar on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at StoriesFAB to keep up with everything going on and coming up on the show. Also, be sure to check out Popcorn on Pints on Facebook and Twitter stream every Saturday night at 9. Myself and some friends just getting drunk and talking shit about movies and each other. You'll find Stories from a Bar on all major podcast platforms, so be sure to like and subscribe, and even more importantly, leave fantastic reviews. I will kiss you on the mouth if I have to make it happen. I don't fear that. And, of course, share the hell out of it. So until next time, people, cheers.